I got regularly questions about what do you use for strings, capos, finger picks and so on and so on. So I thought I'll make a video about all these things. And in the video description below you'll find links to the products I use, although I'm not affiliated to any of the companies I list. And also some timestamps, so if you want to know about the strings you can click on the timestamp and then you'll know everything about the strings. Okay, so let's start with strings. I'm a big fan of the Daddario strings. I've been using them for a long time. And most of my steel string guitars have the Daddario phosphor bronze custom light. That's the EJ26 and they start with a 011 and going to a 052. So that's in between extra light and light for most string brands. On some guitars I use the extra light version, that's the EJ15, and especially for the Parlor guitars, the old ones, so they can take heavier strings, so it's better to use those extra light strings. Maybe change the first string to a 011 instead of a 010. On the Eastman jazz guitar I use the Daddario Jazz Light strings, the ECG24, and on the 12 string guitar I use a Daddario E37, and these are medium top, heavy bottom. And on the gypsy guitar, like this one, I use the Argentine strings, medium also, that's also a 011. On the nylon string guitar I use the Daddario Pro Arte high tension EJ44, and on the Resonator guitars also the phosphor bronze strings but a light set. Sometimes when I play a song that's where it's only or mainly slide playing, I might use heavier first and second strings. Also the mandolin and the ukulele have the Daddario strings. On the ukulele I like the J71 Daddario strings because they are a rather heavy gauge compared to some of those modern and current ukulele strings, and they are closer to the size or the gauge of regular nylon string guitar strings. For picks I use picks less and less, Thumppicks in any case, but when I use one I use either the John Pearse vintage pick or the Fred Kelly orange pick, which has a nice fit. Also the John Pearse is nicely rounded also. Sometimes it's a bit straight and I don't like that. I almost never use steel finger picks. When I break a nail in winter sometimes, then usually it's the second finger because it's the longest finger, and when I, for example, open my car and the handle slips, then a nail might break. And when I use those finger picks I use the ProPik Fingertone finger picks. And they, as you can see, there's a part that's not metal, so your flesh sticks out and you have a mixed sound of metal and flesh. I still have, I think, my national picks, which I bought about 50 years ago, I think, and they are completely metal. Then for Capo, I bought many years ago, many decades ago, the Shubb Capo, and I have two. This one is a regular for steel strings and it has a radius, and this one is also for steel strings, but it's a bit larger, and I can use it on the nylon strings as well if I tighten it. I never even have to change the rubber parts, so they're very durable. Maybe not a good choice by Shubb. When it comes to slides, I mainly use this ceramic rock slide. It has a nice fit and it's a regular slide, it's not specially made. and I like it to fit just like this before the last knuckle, and I like it snug so it doesn't fall, but if I would wiggle it a bit more it would fall, so it's not really tight. I have an old diamond slide which was made to order, so you see this is heavier than this side, so it's a conical slide. Inside it goes like that, so you have more mass, and the more mass you have the more sustain. I'm not sure if he still does custom orders diamond, you have to ask him. But it has been scratched a lot, so that's why I changed it to the ceramic, which is I think a bit more durable. I also have this one made by the Daddy Slide company, by the name. And it's also conical, it's very, very heavy. Then nail care for the right hand. When the nails are too long I use a standard file which you can find in any drugstore or supermarket. But recently, well, a couple months ago, I found that classical guitarists use micro mesh pads, and I bought these, and these are very excellent for fine tuning. Sometimes your nails can be a bit scratchy, and if you use these and polish your nails, then you will very soon notice the difference. And they come in very different grids, and I use 2400, and then the second one is about, I think, 4000, and this one is even 7000, very fine. And you simply put them like that, and you go over it, and over it, one by one. So that's a major improvement. Then changing strings, I don't like that, especially if you have that many guitars as I have. So electronic Stringwinder is very, very handy. What I use also sometimes, especially in summer when it's a bit more hot and you get sweaty, then this is an Oasis arm pads. It has a slight cushion here, and they wear out rather fast, but they still fit my rather skinny arms, and they avoid that your sweat, which is an acid, and it can really damage the finish of your guitar. Then I use a footstool, and I had many of those cheapies, Taiwanese or Chinese footstools, and sometimes when I stepped on them, well, with all my weight when I was getting up or something like that, they simply bent. So I bought a really heavy one. It's too heavy, and you will find the brand, and it's adjustable with a button. You can go up and down. Then what do I use for recording? Well, this is a very old, I think it dates from 2015, a Canon Legria HFG10 camcorder with a directional microphone, also by Canon, which is mounted on top of the camcorder. And it's for me, I'm very low tech. It's a very easy solution. I just have to record, put the record button. I don't do any post-production with a sound. It's a sound that the mic records. And the only editing I do is I cut the beginning and the end of the video, so you don't see my hand going to the on-off switch. I don't use any special lighting. I have a big window here next to me, so that's enough light. And if it's dark, I use my desk light, nothing special. Cleaning, I hardly clean my guitars. I use a rag when it's too sweaty, and which is handy, is simply a paintbrush. If your guitar is dusty, you simply do that, and the dust is gone, and with very little effort your guitars keep clean like that. I don't use any special wall mounts for my guitars, simply a piece of rope and a little hook in the wall, and that's it. So I guess that's about everything I can think of for this topic, so you can check it and have fun playing guitar.